We are coming out of the Team USA U19 training camp, and On3 did great coverage of this event all throughout the week. Jamie Shaw did a big write up at the end of this event as it concludes, where he went through basically every single player at the event, player by player, and gave a paragraph too on what did he see. There's some good, there's some not so good. He doesn't really put anyone on blast. There's nobody that like completely underwhelmed here, but you can kind of read the context clues on like who got the generic, yeah, he fit in versus who was crushing it at this event. And you have to start with one name and one name only when you're looking at Team USA's U19 roster. On three's MVP was AJ Dybantsa, and the write up of AJ Dybantsa himself just continues to scream praise at a kid that is likely going to be the number one pick in next year's NBA draft. I'll read an excerpt from this. If you want the full write-up, and certainly you want to read more about other players at this event, go subscribe to On3, support Jamie Shaw and all the great work that those guys do. But this is what they wrote about AJ Dybantsa. Said AJ showed ability to self-create in the half court, consistently finding open space to get his spots. He was the best player in the gym. When he turned it on, mostly during the scrimmage portions, it was clear to everyone watching that he was the best player in the gym. Quote, there's nothing he doesn't have. That's pretty high praise. You're nodding because you knew this coming into the week, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, listen, best player in high school, best player in college basketball. Uh, Only playing against under 19-year-olds is what we do. Been doing it for years, been the best player at this age group for a long time. Only thing he's missing is a willingness to go to math class, as he described to us on his YouTube vlog. That's the only thing he doesn't have. All the greats didn't want to go to math, though. Honestly, I saw in that. What was the game they played in Portland against Team World that Dame Sarr showed out at? What was that called?
The Nike World Hoop Summit.
Yeah, you saw it in that game. There was nobody in high school that can guard him. And Cam Boozer was phenomenal in that game, but what AJ did was next level. Like when he gets a bucket, it sprees a run because like he's a momentum shifter. He makes extremely tough buckets on some of the best players in the world at his age group. And the same thing's going on right now. Um, I think this dude's a generational talent. I think he is, in my opinion, more like going to be better at the NBA level. I almost want to say more NBA ready, but I don't think I actually believe that yet. But I think he will have a much better NBA career than Cooper Flagg will. And I think Cooper Flagg's going to have a phenomenal career in his own right. But I think we're talking about a guy that's going to be like the face of the league one day. I think he is like a next level Anthony Edwards. I love Ant. There's something Ant is missing that I think AJ has. I don't think Ant can take a team to that next level that's farther than what he took the Wolves to this year. I think AJ can, and he continues to show it every single chance that he gets.
So I actually love that comp. And now I want to flesh this out a little more and go further with it because I've been watching all this AJ Dybantsa footage. I've been reading every write-up. I've been watching his vlogs. I've been consuming every possible way that I could consume AJ Dybantsa content this offseason. And people know, the BYU listeners we have that have been listening to me from the beginning of this offseason know, I've been a Dybantsa skeptic as far as you can be a skeptic. Like I don't deny the talent. I don't deny anything about who he is as an NBA prospect. But I have approached this coming in of like, hey, even though I love BYU and I'm super high on this and what they're going to be, he's not always the winningest player. Like, just the boozers are the ones that win here. AJ is the one who wins the highlight reel, and I don't know what to do with that. I'm interested to see how the season plays out. That's probably the most on record skeptical anyone's been that I've seen. I don't see anybody like worried about Tabata beyond what I've brought to the table here. And I'm not doing it to be weird. It's just my interpretation of when I've watched him play real games. I've seen the eye-popping, wow, how does he do that? I don't know that I've seen it translate in a way that makes me think, okay, I want to build around this guy just yet. And we'll see. Maybe that comes at BYU because AJ's saying all the right things. For that reason, I've struggled with the comp, right? Because you go back through the best of the best players. I think like LeBron James, right? He was a complete IQ genius there were zero questions about how he's wired. Andrew Wiggins there was some wiring questions, right? Like there's stuff that's come out of like, oh yeah, Wig just wanted to get his 20 and go back to his bed at night, right? That's Jeff Teague's story. Ant's the first comp I've heard that I think makes sense to me. And this is why. Anthony Edwards coming in, I think, had a lot of the criticisms that I'm throwing on AJ Dybantsa of like, he knows he can dominate. He's always winning the highlight reel. Remember the whole like, does he love basketball thing? I don't think anyone's asking that of AJ. We know he loves hoops, but does he love hoops more than just being a celebrity? Because that's a huge part of how AJ Dybantsa is approaching this whole thing. I've called him Gen Z's superstar, right? That's the way he goes about everything is online. And I think there's an element you could have looked back at Ant of like, is he just this goofy kid more than he is a transcendent talent? But the reason that comp works, Dion, is the number one thing I've heard from Jamie Shaw on three and everybody that watched him this week, and it finally clicked. Thank you for making this click. What separates him and why he will never miss and why I need to get on the bandwagon is that he is a competitor. And regardless of if he's this goofy kid or has all this other shit, when it is like time to go against the other quote unquote elite guys, when it's time to roll ball out in scrimmage, we're not doing drills, is 5-on-5 and Michael Brown's right there and Chris Sinak's right there. What are we going to do? Everyone agreed that every time that happened at the Team USA camp, Dybantsa was killing people. He was the best player in the scrimmage portion the whole time, and it was his competitiveness that drove it. Like he approached it the way you go back to the Dream Team summer workouts, they wanted to kill each other. Yeah. And that's been the report all week is in an event where AJ Dybantsa didn't need to prove anything. When it came time to prove shit, he was the loudest one trying to prove shit. And to me, that's Edwards. Even though he's this goofy kid, the reason he works in the league is he truly looks at the Olympic team and says, I'm going to kill them. And that's what I think needs to click for me with AJ. This is the first time I feel like it has clicked. Thank you for that, because he might be a 6'9" Ant Edwards. And if he's a 6'9" Ant Edwards, the whole league has a problem for 20 years. This video is brought to you by NBA 2KLab.com. 2K Lab worked with us last summer as well. And they're one of our favorite entities in all of sports gaming. We want to show you their college basketball stadium locator challenge game. And I'm going to share a screen right now as we do this. South Carolina, bang. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Next, North Carolina. Why are we only getting the Carolinas?
Please
bang.
lock in.
St. John's, that's New York.
New York.
Bang.
Where's New Jersey?
We're on fire. Colorado. I actually don't know what state Colorado
is. It's in Colorado. There's a state of Colorado.
Is that this one?
It's to the right of Phoenix.
Anyway, you get the picture. This game's really fun. They've got more games as well, like Guess the NBA Player, Mystery Fantasy Draft, and more. Stay tuned for all of the college football content and games that they'll be putting together to help you get the best experience out of college football 26. Back to the video.
And I think the thing about the difference between him and Ant, to me, the reason I think there's something about AJ that he has that Ant doesn't have is you're right. Like AJ does want to be a celebrity, but I think what clicked for Ant in the NBA that didn't click for him at Georgia or maybe didn't click for him in high school is he also only wants to be a celebrity, in my opinion. Like I think if Ant could be a celebrity, make the same amount of money without playing basketball, he probably would. But it clicked for Ant in the NBA, and I think specifically at that FIBA World Cup that we lost at, by the way, and we lost. He was out there with Austin Reeves, and we lost. But I think it clicked for him at that World Cup. I'm a celebrity because I play basketball. So let me be the best basketball player possible so I can be the biggest celebrity possible. That's already clicked for AJ. He knows there is no AJ without basketball. And I think that's why you're getting this version of him at a younger age than we got out of Ant. I think there's a higher ceiling for him than there is Ant. And I think Ant has a phenomenal ceiling, but they're both competitors. They both want to be celebrities. And it's now clicked for both of them. There is no celebrity me without this orange round basketball going through the big hoop. And that's a scary, scary sight for a lot of people.
Yeah, I just love, I mean, obviously we know the skill set, the athleticism, all of it, but it's such a good sign for AJ and for BYU and for Team USA in the future that everyone that watched him this week says the biggest takeaway was his alpha mentality was hard to ignore. Like, and we're talking about, we're looking at a sport where we know LeBron's retiring soon. We don't know when. We know, respectfully, Curry's time is going to come soon. We've got this next generation. We're looking up, and it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander versus Tyrese Halliburton in the finals. Who is going to be the next guy in American basketball? Maybe it is Cooper Flag. I don't know. Maybe it's AJ Dybantsa. And honestly, AJ going against Cooper Flag to be the face of the league is the most excited I've been for NBA storylines in a while.
I've made fun of AJ for saying I didn't make fun of him. I would never do that to AJ. But I questioned when he went on the Paul George podcast and said he wanted to be on the team USA 2028 team. I'm walking that all the way back. He will be on that team. Like he'll
Yeah.
be on that team because he's going to stare Cooper Flag in the face and say, you're my lunch." And he's already taken lunch from like the Boozer twins, respectfully. Somehow Peterson ended up being ranked number one in the class, right? By on three.
Yeah, I don't know if it was on three or the composite at 24/7 or what, but
It
yeah.
was one. He's going to take Darren Peterson's lunch for as long as he can, right? Like Mikael Brown went to, or Michael, excuse me, went to Team USA U19 camp and showed out. And AJ said, "That's cool. I'll just do it better." And like he stares people the same way Ant does and says, "I want what you want because you want it. And I already have what I want." And he's going to take everything from everybody that he possibly can.
And that you think through like some of the best NBA rivalries ever, it's guys who are wired this way that we're talking about. And Cooper Flag undeniably is. Cooper Flag might be a whole different level of freak competitive that even DeBonsa might not be, but I'm getting giddy at the thought of like that's who USA basketball is going to run through for a couple of years. Two guys polar opposite that I don't know how they feel about each other. I know they've gone to war before, Flag and DeBonsa, but that are both going to want to be the guy, the face of it, the alpha, and believe they can and have the skill sets to back it up, and also will try and fight you to the death to be that guy. That's got my full attention finally, you know?
I get giddy about it because I'm gonna say this right now. Ant's gonna be the face of it because he's gonna see these two and it's going to take him to a new level. Because if you really look at the NBA, who is challenging Ant to be the face at the moment of like American basketball? Kind of Tatum. I think Tatum's better than Ant, but on the Team USA landscape, he definitely wasn't. You know what I mean? And there's no one really else that's like the face of American basketball. Ja's obviously falling off at the moment. I think Tyrese is coming.
Honestly, it sounds crazy, but Halliburton's made big strides with how clutch he's been this year. Like he's going to be a staple in that going forward.
Halliburton too, but now there's two guys that are going to want to take everything that Ant's built the last year or two in terms of popularity, and Ant's going to look at that and be like, "No, I'm keeping it." And I think it's going to take him to a whole new level. And now we're going to have a three-headed monster. I also dream of a seven-game series of AJ versus Ant.
Yeah, that's like fast forward 5 years. I think that's my ideal state of the NBA is that. Yeah. All right. Well, this was fun. It finally just clicked for me with AJ Dybantsa. Thanks to you, Dion. Thank you.